I'm sorry?
He said they were ready to vote him, but he's gonna bring him off.
What happened to Brett Rivers? Brett Rivers, never checked in. Is it Maria Foreman?
No check-in. Holton is on Zoom.
City of Lansing versus Vermont Holton Jr. 24-03486 and 24L291168 and 682.
Dr. Nichols Linebacker for the city, Your Honor. Holton is currently unrepresented by counsel. He was made aware that he had the opportunity to appeal. He indicated he wanted to move forward. I believe as a result of our conversation and offer extended, that he would be willing to plead guilty to be drove and unregistered with the dismissal of the balance. He has provided me with a license.
You said driver unregistered.
Correct.
He does have a valid license. So the people are moving to dismiss that one.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're gonna dismiss proof of insurance.
Correct.
Okay, and then Mr. Holton, you want to plead guilty to the charge of driving an unregistered vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. You have the right to proceed to a jury trial on this matter and maintain your innocence until proven guilty. You have the right to require the city to put forth evidence that would prove each element of the charge of driving an unregistered vehicle beyond a reasonable doubt. You can remain silent and not have the silence be used against you, or you can waive silence and testify at your trial if you like. You have the right to subpoena witnesses that will testify on your behalf. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You willing to give up each of those rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone threatening you to get you to give those rights up?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promise you anything if you plead guilty to the driving an unregistered vehicle?
No, ma'am.
As to the charge of driving an unregistered vehicle, how do you plead?
Not guilty. I mean, guilty. I'm sorry. Guilty. I'm sorry.
No. It happens. Let's see, where is this? On or about November 22nd, 2024, at approximately 5:55 in the morning, were you operating a vehicle at or near the area of Larch and Park?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that in the city of Lansing, Ingham County?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time that you were operating a vehicle, it was on a public roadway?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was your vehicle registered?
Ma'am, with that, I don't know. It wasn't my car, it was my granddad's car. He was lending to me so I can get to work because I have a good job and he didn't want me to lose it. So I don't know, like.
You were pulled over by the police?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to provide a license and registration at the time?
No, ma'am. I told them I was in the process of getting my license, which I have now. And that's why they put me not having license on the thing.
I want to talk about the registration. Were you able to provide registration?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because the car, that was my granddad's car, and he just let me hold it to get to work. That was literally like, I don't even have the possession of that car.
I didn't ask you whose car it was. I've borrowed cars before, and if you get pulled over, you provide the registration. Why weren't you able to provide the registration?
I did not have that paper, ma'am.
Okay.
I did not have the papers.
Okay, this was November. This is now almost March. Does that paper exist?
I don't know. That's not my car. I don't know if that paper exists
Oh,
or
okay,
not,
well,
ma'am.
then I won't
I
accept
know
your
it had the
plea.
titles. It had the titles.
No,
That's what I
I
do
won't
know.
accept, I can't accept your plea. We gotta move to trial. Because if you can't tell me if it's registered or not, it might be registered.
No, that what
If
he
you can't
said.
tell,
That what I'm assuming that it was. It's not.
no,
I'm sure. I know it's not a dirty car, ma'am. That my
no,
granddad is going to give
no,
me a legit car.
you're not gonna assume, either you know or you're not, and I know you know by now if you were driving a vehicle that was properly registered, and I know if you know, and
It's
you
from
probably
Lansing. No, I
told
don't
your,
know, ma'am. I never owned a car before. I never had a license a day in my life until I moved to Michigan. So I don't know anything about registration or thing. Only thing I knew was
got
a
it,
title.
no
That's the only
worries,
thing I know
no
about is a
worries,
title.
no worries, we'll move to trial. Let me give you a trial date,
April 8th.
Eight.
15.
April 8th, 8:15 in person at the court for trial.
Okay.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I would, again, if Mr. Holton is wishing to seek the assistance of a public defender through appeal, that he move forward with that process.
Yeah, I adjourned this back in January for him to do that.
I did. I
I-
sent my stuff, but I'm assuming I have the wrong email or something because I
Yeah.
sent my pay stubs like they told me.
I'm not sure what you said. You submitted your updated information or your appeal, you said via email?
Yes, through my pay, they told me to send my pay stubs in, which I did, and I never heard from anyone after that. So I don't know if it was the right email or not, but it was PD1 APP. Well, I can go look at it at my emails.
Did it bounce back undeliverable to you?
No, ma'am, not at the time. I sent it to two different, the APP and the OPP one, and it never like bounced back anything. It just went as in like sent.
Does your
Okay,
office have
I'm looking
anything
right here.
around January 22nd?
I have no way of checking that email. That is an accurate email for our office. There's not a single note in the file about that.
It
but
said
that is
there
the
was a
correct
temporary
file for
problem.
appeals. So I'll get in contact with Jackie Busey, our office administrator, but as of right now, there's no notes in that file since December 23rd, and we usually track these appeals in the notes.
Sounds good. You said there, it says what, sir?
On this one right here, it say mail delivery message not delivered, because I guess this was the wrong email, the pd1apt@ingraham.org.
It's APP, 2 Ps.
Did you hear that, sir?
Okay, what is it again? I'm finna so I can send
So you got everything right,
PD1.
but it's 2 Ps. PD1APP.
at ingram.org,
Yep,
ingham.org.
yep.
Okay, with that one, let me see if I sent that one. Okay, I did send that one to APP as well, because I have that right here to PD1APP. I sent that one as well, and I sent like 3-4 pay stubs.
Okay, so you just sent it to the correct email, is that what you're saying?
No, that was on the 20th.
Oh, okay, well,
I'll alert Ms. Busey about it. There's nothing in our file about any discussion with him after December 23rd.
okay. Send it to resend that information to the email that you were just provided, sir.
Okay, PD1APP@ingham.org. As in
Yes,
INGHAM.org.
correct. Sorry, students.
You're all set for today, sir.
Okay.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Jesse Britt, 24-03663, council appearance.
Monitor for City of Lansing.
Jacob Riley on behalf of Mr. Britt.
There was a date scheduled for a pretrial. I do have here a plea sheet. The defendant to plead guilty, credit time served. And PR bond. Is that accurate?
It is, Your Honor. I was under the impression that he may have had time to attach to this file, Your Honor. If not, then we would be agreeable to no time jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a PR bond, so I don't have any time noted here.
I believe he spent at least one night in jail with upon arrest in this case, Your Honor. Might be the only jail credit that he has.
I don't even know if that happened. Let's see here. I don't have any record. All I have is that he was seen the day he was booked by the magistrate. So,
This report does indicate that he was in custody.
well, where I recognize he was likely in custody. That's not gonna be a killable that works.
Okay.
Figure something else out.
Agreed to no upfront jail. There.
Is that what you want to do, Mr. Britt?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm assuming he's unemployed. Is that what the issue is? Are you
Yes.
employed?
No.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. You're being charged with one count of trespass here from the 15th. This is on or about the 15th of December, but at approximately 11:58 p.m. at the area at or near Burnway in South Waverly. You have the right to proceed to trial in this matter. You have the right to a jury trial, and you have the right to maintain your innocence and require the city prove that you're guilty. They would have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You want to give up those rights? It comes with giving up your right to remain silent at any trial and not having silence be used against you. Your right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses that the city intends to call against you, and your right to call your own witnesses or present evidence at trial that you believe show a defense to these charges. You understand that?
Yes.
And you wish to give up those rights as well?
Yes.
Is anyone threatening you to give those rights up? Any threats to you to get you to give those
Oh, no.
rights up? Okay. Any promises being made to you if you give up those rights?
No.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No.
As to trespass, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Is that because you believe you're guilty?
Yes.
Factual basis?
Mr. Britt, on December 15th of 2024, were you present at 3900 Burnway Drive, apartment 115?
Yes.
Is that in the city of Lansing, Dane County, state of Michigan?
Yes.
Is it true that you have been asked to leave that apartment and that you did not immediately leave when asked by a person who had authority to ask for leave?
Yes, I was getting ready to leave, but they forced me to leave, fast did not get up.
I believe that's factual. It's-
You say you were getting ready to leave and they asked you to leave?
Yeah, they asked me to leave, I was getting ready to leave, and it said 10 seconds now, and I'm, okay, let me get myself up, and they, nope, it's over with. Just standing, got me. And when they, I couldn't even get a chance to get up, start walking out the door.
How was that trespassing?
If I can clarify, is it true that the police were called to that apartment because the person there wanted you?
Yeah, the person that actually wanted me to leave, the person had an argument, and the person stood up and told him that, I just wanted him just to be quiet and whatever, and then they said, well, for me to leave.
Okay, so you were visiting someone at
Yes,
their home?
yes, at the home,
Okay, and you got into some kind of a disagreement.
yes,
They asked you to leave?
not really, they told me to be quiet.
It's not really, that's not an answer.
Well,
Did they ask you to leave?
no, they said be quiet.
Okay, so they didn't say, I want you to leave my house?
No,
Okay, how, and then they later called the police?
no, they called the police. She called the police and told me to be quiet because we was arguing. And then next thing you know, police told me I'm
So-
tired.
Okay, so you called the police because you still were arguing and you wouldn't be
Yeah,
quiet?
well, I
So the
was
police-
quiet. Yeah, I got quiet.
Well, you must not have been assuming so because the
No,
police were
she
called.
had called him.
Okay, so she called the police arrived, she says, I want you to leave, I
No,
want him to leave.
no, the police said, I'm tired. I'm
The police was tired?
yeah, the police said, I'm tired. And I ain't got no tolerance or nothing right now. He said, so I'm giving you 10 seconds to get up and leave.
Oh, so the
Okay,
police asked you to leave,
Exactly. And
not
so
the
now I'm
person who
getting up
owns
to
the
leave.
home.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to accept the plea, it's not appropriate. We should set it for a final free trial and see if we have a witness.
Really plead guilty to it.
Well, you can't plead guilty because you just tried to, and the facts don't align with guilt because it's not trespassing just because the police asked you to leave. If you left when they asked you to leave, if the person told you couldn't be there,
What
the person, and you just told me on this record that they didn't tell you that.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Mr. Britt, had the police been to that apartment earlier in the day?
they came early, I believe, one time.
And when they were there earlier, did they tell you that you had to leave and that if you did not leave, you'd be trespassed?
I guess, yes, I think she did say that. And so I just sit there and then called them again. The police came back and told me I had to leave.
The
because you
police came,
trespassed.
so the police were called earlier the same day to this address, sir?
Yes,
Okay, and they asked you to leave then?
no, they asked me to leave.
The plea failed.
Okay.
Yes.
You can further counsel him, but I'm gonna set it for final free trial. Because unless he can, he can't tell, he's already told me that the police didn't ask him to leave earlier,
Right.
that they gave him 10 minutes.
No, they had
10
told-
seconds, that is.
Well, they had
Oh.
told me, Miss Judge, they had told me I'm trespassing. That's
I
what they said.
recognize they did. They told you that when though?
They told me that earlier. They told me that earlier.
They said, so they appeared earlier. What time is earlier?
I guess about, I don't know, was that 10 minutes before that time or then she had called him again because me and her still was kind of
Oh, so the
hurt.
police were called on you twice the same day?
I don't even know. I think they were still there.
The police arrived twice the same day? You spoke to the police twice that day?
No, the police came. and
You only
took-
spoke to the police once that day?
Yes, that's what I did. But she had
So
called
how
the
did they
police.
tell you, so how did they tell you earlier to leave if you only spoke to them once?
They had told me, we had told you, because we're getting tired of coming back here.
But stop. Did you talk to them more than once that day? So how did they had told you anything if you hadn't spoke to them earlier that day?
They talked to me. I don't believe that. Yeah, they talked to me. I mean, he has,
You see- you
he
see-
has the body cam and
You
everything.
see
what
what this,
happened.
you see what this record reflects? He can't he can't establish a factual basis. Either he doesn't remember the facts, or he's not willing to be forthcoming with the facts, or the facts, as he's stating, don't align with the plea. And if what he's saying sometimes is that you only spoke to one officer once and they told you to leave once and gave you 10 seconds, then that's not a trespass. Now, if they came earlier that day, and you were asked to be removed from the property and then you failed to leave, and then they had to come back, that's different. But you told me you only spoke to the officer once, so I gotta set this, I gotta continue to final pretrial. That'll allow, I want the officer and the alleged victim here, the person who owns this house, and then that way the parties can flesh out what happened. There's that. If the victim has a different opinion of what happened, then that'll help the prosecutor know how to move forward, okay?
March 11th at 8:15.
March 11th at 8:15.
8:15.
8:15 in the morning, you need to be here. additional matters for the record?
Nothing further.
No, Your Honor.
You're all set, sir. That was for Mr. Wood, right there. Ariana Roberts present.
No, he's not. Mr. Jenkins, Katazi Jenkins, in the room.
He's here. We're filling out a police sheet and advice of rights right now.
Chandler was put on the wrong day. Is Chandler here?
I have not seen her, Your Honor. I've gotten emails from Mr. Nagel, but I have not seen Ms.
Mr.
Chandler.
Nagel was present, but, okay. I'll issue a bench warrant. You're all set, Mr. Nagel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Smith. Will you speak with this attorney already? Attorney. Maybe I'm missing something. I asked the question and she walked up, so.
Arrested? No, it's arrested.
How? Mr. Nagel, your matter, the young lady was downstairs, on the 5th floor by accident. However, I believe they're requesting a 30-day adjournment. Is there an objection at all?
No objection.
Do March 31st at 8:30.
March 31st at 8:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. I don't think I have a file though, right? That's why I get it to right here.
And I'll follow up in an email with you, Mr. Nagel, about the discussion.
Okay, not a problem.
This is the expectation that she's gonna get her license.
She's nearing the end of a suspension, so we're gonna see if she's able to restore her license. She thinks it'll happen sometime mid next month, so we're gonna at least see if we can make that happen. Otherwise, Mr. Nagel has made an offer to resolve.
Okay, I left that in the file. I can get her a notice.
May I approach it?
So it's a property damage estimate. There's lacking a biographical for the birthday, but this is kind of.
Thank you, Mr. Nagel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Same to you. Everybody on Mr. Jenkins?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is the matter of the City of Lansing versus Katasi Jenkins. And 24-02706, appearance, please.
Catherine Nichols, my deputy for the city, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Silver, on behalf of Mr. Jenkins, who is standing to my right.
Mr. Jenkins is scheduled for a pre-trial. There's an operating while intoxicated. And then there's a failure to stop after property damage accident. My understanding is that the offer is for Mr. Jenkins to plead guilty to operating while intoxicated with an agreement, amended charge that is to operating while intoxicated to 0.08 higher, with an agreement to pay $94 in restitution prior to this date of sentencing. If you pay the $94 prior to sentencing, the people will dismiss the failure to report count 2. You understand that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to accept that?
Yeah.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yeah.
Okay, I have an advice of rights and the information sheet. It's 2 pages. That's your signature.
Yeah.
Okay, and you read these rights?
Yeah.
You understand the rights listed here, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're willing to give these rights up in order to accept the plea offer that I just read?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that means that you're gonna waive your right to remain silent at any trial that will require the city to prove each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes.
You're gonna waive your right to have witnesses subpoenaed to testify on your behalf or present evidence at a trial that shows a defense to these charges. You understand that?
Yes.
And you're gonna waive your right to cross-examine any of the city's witnesses, correct?
Yes.
Anyone threatening you to get you to waive those rights?
No more.
Has there been any promises, other than what was stated on the record, to get you to want you to give up those rights?
No, everything was good on
As to the count 1 of operating while intoxicated 0.08 or higher, how do you plead?
it. Guilty.
Factual basis, please.
Thank you. Mr. Jenkins, on or about March 20th of 2024, were you present at or near Hughes Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that in the city of Lansing, Hingham County, Michigan?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a public road, correct?
Yes.
And were you driving a vehicle at that time?
Yes.
Were you driving after having consumed some alcohol?
Yes.
Did you come into police contact that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And because of a suspicion of consuming alcohol, was a blood test conducted on you?
Yes, ma'am.
And did that blood test come back at above 0.08?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that satisfies the factual basis.
Any questions from the city?
We would just note, Your Honor, that the cost recovery in the amount of $473.
Thank you. The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. Find your plea to be freely, voluntarily, and intelligently made. This matter is set for sentencing April 22nd at 1:30. When you leave here today, you'll go down 1 floor to probation so that you can check in and they can get you prepared for a pre-sentence interview. I did see a copy of your assessment.
Okay, yeah.
That's already in the file. Let's see here. We're going to also have to set count 2 for a pre-trial that same time to keep it open.
It allowed, it's
Okay.
And I do believe Mr. Jenkins intends to pay that $95 today after meeting with the commission.
you have any questions for the court at this time?
No, I don't.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing further.
You're all set, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. On the record in the matter of the city of Lansing versus Jeffrey Smith, 25-00163, appearance, please.
Catherine Nichols, for the city.
So Jacob Brown on behalf of Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith,
Hello, how are you today?
I'm all right, how are you?
Great today.
You say you're what?
Great today, I went home.
I'm glad to hear that you're great. I have a concern that I need to address on the record because I've had my head of security and my criminal clerk come in here today about some inappropriate things that took place in the hallway. But when you're in our hallway, sir, and you see people that work at the court or people that are visiting the court for any reason, we're not in the middle of a back alley. We're not outside in the streets. You don't catcall. You don't bother the staff with your personal endeavors. You understand that? If you're here to deal with business here of the court, then you do that. But this is not the time for you to be worried about how good someone looks, what's their name, and hey, who are you? That's not what we do at the court, okay? And don't make the court staff feel uncomfortable, okay? Act professional when you come in here. We do business here. Do you understand that? Okay. This was a trespass. How are we proceeding?
Be requesting final pretrial.
Was there an offer on this?
As charged, Your Honor, for no objection if critical counsel is available.
I'm sorry.
As charged, Your Honor, so.
Okay. What is the location of the incident? It's not a business, is it?
It was the outreach at 601 North Washington.
Well, what's the point of final pre-trial?
We're not doing anything, so whatever. the
Oh,
next-
we'll just set it for trial. April 8th at 8:15 in person at the court. Will get you your notice to appear. Do you have any questions at this time, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you were able to go and get your tether removed, correct? Okay, very good. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the city.
I don't know.
Did that young lady leave her cup or is that your cup?
That's mine, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
It's a children's cup, but it is owned
I
by
just
me.
know she was in here with two young kids. I
That's
said, I
fair.
hope she didn't leave her cup. Okay, sounds good. Any additional matters? You're all set. Thank you.
Learned the hard way getting through security.